maximum value, minimum price. This is the best way I can summarize what Amazfit has done with their latest sports-oriented smartwatch, the Bip MAX. It's very likely the best wearable deal of the year. Wonder why I think so? Let's inspect. So this is the Max, and size here matters. I believe this is literally why they call it like that. Placed side by side with the previous Bip entry, the Bip 6. The difference is considerable. This thing commands presence on your wrist, and it's worth knowing up front, especially if you have smaller wrists. I'll come back to this in the criticism section a little bit later, but first, let me walk you through everything I've experienced over the past few weeks of real-world use. My own purchase, no gifted units, no sales pitches, just facts, real data, and my honest opinion designed to help you decide whether this should be your next wearable. As a long-time Amazfit and Garmin user, I have a lot of reference points, and health tracking is the first big topic I want to dig into. Heart rate is tracked accurately, with samples collected every 5 minutes by default. You can adjust that interval, but here is what makes the Bip MAX really stand out. Amazfit gives you a continuous HR mode, just as it is with their Helio strap. That puts it in the same category as the Whoop series, something that is quite rare at this price point. Just FYI, choosing this feature is going to cost you around 20% of your battery life. Steps, floors climbed, stress, blood oxygen saturation, all the essentials are reliably and accurately tracked. Sleep tracking is also seeing a meaningful improvement. The Bip MAX is now catching more of my awakenings than before, which is a real sign of better sensor sensitivity, or at least more accurate database. It is not yet in Aura or Ring Con's territory, but it's getting closer, and it already feels slightly ahead of the Garmin Fenix 8 in this area. HRV tracking is also on board, very accurate too. Heart rate variability is one of those underestimated but deeply important health metrics. Gives you a window into your body's physical recovery state, and the Bip MAX tracks it with the same precision you would expect from Amazfit's premium lineup. Workout performance is where things get even more serious, because during workouts, the heart rate measurements match what you would get from a chest strap like the Polar H10, and I noticed almost no meaningful difference compared to my Garmin Fenix 8 as well. There was one interesting exception though. I tracked a full ball session with both watches simultaneously. The Garmin overcounted my distance by roughly 3 kilometers, while the Amazfit registered me as mostly static. Typically, the Fenix is the more reliable tool here, so the Amazfit missed the mark on distance in that specific session. But here's the thing, every other parameter was spot on, with only 2 to 3% variance across the board for HR. That level of sensor accuracy from a $100 watch is absolutely remarkable. For outdoor tracking, I also did a mountain biking session and loved every bit of it. Amazfit doesn't heavily market GPS as a flagship feature, but the real-world performance is delightful. There was zero meaningful difference between the Bip MAX's GPS trace and what came from my watch costing 8 times more. If your primary goal is tracking workouts, running, cycling, hiking, football, whatever it is, more than 150 types, the Bip MAX almost perfectly matches any high-end smartwatch on the market. The only trade-off is that you can't run the navigation button only, but the display itself is quite a pleasure to use. The overall design is good. It is consistent with the Bip's line traditionally slim DNA. For those of you who remember, the very first Bip generation came with a transflective display, and I still hope Amazfit revisits that someday. When you unbox the Max, comes in Amazfit's usual clean packaging. The strap installation requires a bit of patience though. Even for someone with experience like me, it was a mild challenge. A few things to note down about the construction. The lugs are plastic, which is likely a durable engineering grade type, but worth knowing. The frame on top is aluminium, which adds a premium feel, and the display glass sits in a recessed position for better protection. I would still recommend adding some sort of screen protector. 2 physical buttons on the right side. The lower one opens your apps list, the upper one launches the workouts. By default, this feels slightly counterintuitive, at least to me, but Amazfit lets you swap the functions in the settings. That's one small change making a significant difference in day-to-day usability. The tech specs are nothing short of remarkable for a $100 device. You get a large 2.07-inch screen, a 550 mAh battery, the BioTracker 6.0 sensor, which is handling the heart rate, SpO2, stress, sleep, and more tracking. There's Bluetooth 5.3, more than 150 tracked workout modes. There's a built-in GPS, compatibility with external sensors, and speaker and microphone for Bluetooth phone calls. There also is 4 GB of onboard flash storage for music, MP3 files, for those of you who remember those. It's a very complete package, puts a lot of significantly more expensive smartwatches to shame. And what stands out immediately is clearly the display. It is a very capable AMOLED screen. The always-on display mode is clearly visible even in bright daylight, which is not given at this price tier. The default watch faces look absolutely great, and the Zepp app library still offers plenty of quality faces for free. The glass on top is scratch-resistant, not Gorilla Glass branded, but based on my experience with previous Amazfit devices, it holds up very well in real-world use. Battery life is one of the Bip MAX's strongest arguments. With my typical usage, AOD active from 7 AM to 10 PM, a GPS-tracked workout almost every day, and occasional use of actionable notifications, I drain around 10% per day. That means a full week of use on a single charge comfortably. Turn AOD off and you're looking at 2 to 3 weeks between charges. It is significantly more than any Apple Watch or Wear OS device, and on par with popular Amazfit models such as the Balance 2 or the Cheetah. The charging uses Amazfit's familiar magnetic connector compatible with most of their 2025 and 2026 lineup. Battery saver mode is also available for emergencies, and it buys you meaningful extra time. Software has always been a strong suit for Amazfit, especially in the past couple of years. That trend continues here. The menu scrolls smoothly. The OS is called Zepp OS, most likely running on an RTOS core. It is fast and logically laid out, very minimalist though. There's a built-in App Store with a solid range of mostly free apps. That's not Apple App Store or Google Play Store, but the experience is comparable to Garmin's ecosystem, and I would argue it fits a daily routine more naturally than most competing platforms. Everything in the interface is customizable, the settings are deep without being overwhelming, and you can connect external HR trackers or wireless earbuds directly through the watch. On the smartphone side, the Zepp app is excellent, clean, data-rich, very enjoyable to navigate. The one real annoyance is that Amazfit aggressively pushes their Aura subscription service inside the app. It's not expensive, but it is persistent. The key point though, none of the important health or sports tracking features are locked behind a paywall. Everything core is free. That makes the Zepp ecosystem, in my view, still the best no-cost option for anyone who wants an advanced health and sports smartwatch with smart features included. After all the praise up until now, let me be straight about the shortcomings, because they are real. There is no NFC for contactless payments, which is a meaningful omission for many people, no barometer for elevation tracking, no temperature sensor, and right now it only comes in one size, and that size is large. If you have smaller wrists, this watch will feel way too big. It's not a small thing. It's probably the most important factor to consider before buying. I love this one. It's simple, capable, beautifully designed for what it is, and the battery lasts what feels like forever. The default watch face is superb, the build is solid, and the health and sports tracking stack delivers far beyond what the price tag suggests. Think of it as your favorite Garmin's sensor accuracy wrapped an Apple Watch style aesthetic, powered by SmartBand's battery life. For a $100 smartwatch with this many features, you cannot ask for more. It's a very easy recommendation. Now, what I want to hear from you, given the recent Amazfit releases and the gradual price increases across their lineup, do you think this is one of the last truly great value products that they will make, or it is simply where Amazfit belongs as a brand, the ultra-capable non-premium tier. Drop your thoughts in the comments, I always read them. Your support on the channel means more than I can say, because independent channels like this are becoming rarer and it gets harder to keep running one, but your continued support makes it possible. Thank you for that. Affiliate links are in the description if you want to check it out. That said, please don't buy tech just because of a review. Buy it only if you really use it and if it will actually improve your life in some way. Thanks a lot for watching this review. Take good care, stay fresh, and I'm gonna see you soon. Bye.